dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome to the Icon Cup Series. We are critting up here for what is a going to be a spectacular night here, as we are going 210 laps here at the famed Iowa Speedway. I'm Alan Bergen, soon to be joined shortly by my broadcast partner Dave Regal. We're going to get right into it. We're going to go ahead and show you that starting grid right now, as Brian Smith has won the pole here. Adam Ball will be starting to his outside there in the second position. Bentley Glazer will start third with EVC. Ethan Van Colley will start fourth. Jacob Smith, or Nathan Finnegan rather, will start fifth. Jacob Smith will start sixth. John McNeil will start seventh. Eighth will go to roll. Sean Purcell will start ninth. 10th will be Jonathan Duncan. Charles Van Schaik will start in the 11th position. Nathan Brzozowski will start 12th. 13th will be the Rocket, Zach Lockett. Kevin Gunther will start to his outside in 14th. Charlie Widener will start 15th. Kyle Gilbert out of Paducah, Kentucky will start in that 16th position. Kyle Purcell will start in that 17th position. Mike Grinnell will start 18th. Anthony Tizio will start 19th. 20th will go to Brad Delp. Charles Woods will go 20th. 22nd will be Braxton Louise Jacob Gladwich. Happy birthday, Jacob. We'll start 23rd. 24th to go to Brock Hersey. 25th to go to Patrick Colby. Kyle Diaz will start 26th. Robert Bloom, Hanover Smith, Cody Eldred, and Everett Tingle will round out your field. Here we go as we get ready to bring these fields of green flag racing here. And there's only one thing left to do. And that is to wipe the visors, pull the 5-point Grandma Aggressive Honey Buzz, because race fans, it is showtime. As Adam Ball out of the ECR stable is neck and neck with Brian Smith out of Buddy Motorsports. They come down the back straightaway. We are running up here. We are running stages here. And those stages will be up here at the conclusion of lap 40 and lap 120. So only 3 stages tonight. Right now it continues to be all Brian Smith all day long. So we go over that weather for you right quickly. It is 78 degrees here on a Sunday evening with 82-degree temperature. Partly cloudy sky and a 48% relative humidity. It's a dry heat out here in Newton, Iowa. Looking a little bit deeper into the field here. Adam Ball continues to be in that second position, just a little bit further back. Got Bentley Glazer in that number 87 car. As we got a car looking to make a move there on the inside. Looks like Johnson Duncan there. That's Mr. Roll. In that Snap-on car, it looks like. The most expensive car on the racetrack. Oh, we got trouble right in front of us. That's, oh no. Caution for the first time tonight. Let's see just what happened. There it is. Oh. And proverbial hell breaks loose. Under caution for the first time today. We're trying to make it to lap number 40. We are under caution on lap number 8. The sun's going to go down. The lights are going to come up. Iracing.com pace car makes its first appearance of the race evening. 210 laps is the distance here today. With stages at lap 40 and 120. Some of these drivers going in. Nathan Brazowski. Going down pit road. John McNeil. Kevin Gunster. Sean Purcell. Happy birthday, Patrick. Robert Bloom. Jonathan Duncan. Charles Winshike. Kyle Gilbert, Cody Eldred on pit road, Evan Patinko. He's coming off pit road.
Well, better late than never, they always say.
There he is, our broadcast partner, Dave Riegel, for the evening. Dave, you know, welcome to the booth, man.
Yeah, it's not very often that I'm late for a race, but everything's got a time for a first chance. As we're here on lap number 9 of 210. My goodness. Pretty rough night so far, huh?
I mean, we're only at lap 9, and we had our first incident for cause. And let's take a look back so that way I can bring you up to speed. Here it is, Jonathan Duncan getting into John McNeil. The Jonathan on Jonathan accident there. But nonetheless, 2 cars get shoved into the wall, and then next thing you know, we're following the Iracing.com pace car around Iowa Speedway.
Well, we get ready to go back green flag racing in just a few moments. It's going to be Brian Smith, Adam Ball, Jay Roll, Bentley Glazer driving the number 87. And it's been a long time since I've seen Bentley here on the racetrack, as he is now making an appearance in the Icon Series. Bentley Glazer originally was introduced to me through the Western States Racing League back during the early days of my career here at Sim Racing Media.
He's still there. We're just not up enough for it.
Not here on the East Coast. That is all you and Chris Murphy.
That is all Chris Murphy and Liam Irving right now. Nonetheless, the lights are out on the Iracing.com pace car. Adam Ball and Brian Smith will have control of the field. And Dave, you got to cover the Winter Series with these guys. And that was a lot of fun for you. What are you expecting out of this race?
A lot of the same. I mean, especially with some of these drivers that we've seen time and time again. You know, Zach Locke, Kyle Purcell, Bentley Glazer. They're some of the best here on the iRacing.com servers. Brian Smith leads the way right now. Now, it looks like that top 3 is all where they had qualified as the iRacing.com pace truck moves on into turns 3 and 4 as we roll through that transition. So I'm looking to see a lot of side-by-side action, and once we get through some of these early hiccups, we should start to see a lot of these laps click off. And right now, the iRacing.com pace truck peels on down pit road. The green flag flies, and we're back underway at Iowa Speedway.
Back underway indeed. Brian Smith doing what Brian Smith does best, and that is get out front, stay out front. It is hard to pass at Johnsonville number 78, driven by the none other than Brian Smith. But here comes Adam Ball, and don't adjust your PC screen. That is a Radar sponsored company on his car. I don't think it's Radar Omega, but I could be wrong.
Door handle to door handle, they are back here deeper in the field. The 6 and the 4 of Jacob Smith and Nate Finnegan ready to duke it out as they're hiding just behind the 39 and the 87 of Bentley Glazer and Jay Roll. Now, all of a sudden, we went from about a 4-way battle to now a 6-way battle for that all-important third position, as Jay Roll has now crawled himself up here into third. My goodness, things starting to pick up here volume-wise as we look further back in the field. Mike Grinnell in that double nickel. Watch the 55 working to the high side now of the 8 machine of Braxton DeWeese. And just under him, cuts down underneath Brad Delp in the 72.
Yeah. You know, and Braxton DeWeese is always there at the end of these races, Dave. I mean, he's one of those guys that you just love to watch there. You know, he won earlier in the season. They had a party at James on Main.
Yeah, pretty interesting start to the day so far here, as we're 16 laps in of 210.
Yeah, we're racing right into the night.
Racetrack. Yeah, lights just starting to come up here on the virtual racetrack as we take a look at our conditions. Looks like the track has cooled down to just this side of manageable. 78 degrees the outdoor ambient air temperature in the sim, and 83 degrees on the virtual asphalt as we work here on lap number 17.
I mean, that is a chamber of commerce type of day. You couldn't draw that up any better.
No, not without blueprints and a pencil.
But meanwhile, back at the ranch, J-Roll is contesting Brian Smith for the lead, and he's trying to bring Adam Ball right along with him here in that number 19 car. Brian Smith has been just sort of unbeatable for pretty much the whole season.
Yeah, the Northville, Michigan native here in his Ford Mustang hauls the mail down the backstretch and into turn 3. Now gapping J-Roll by about 0.2 of a second. And, of course, that's not that J-Roll who was just inducted into the Philadelphia Phillies Wall of Fame yesterday alongside of Ed Wade. It is J-Roll, who's a part-time driver here in the Icon Series, driving the number 39 Snap-On machine. And believe me, it says Snap-On, not Strap-On. You got to be careful at this point of the season.
I tell everybody all the time, anytime you see a Snap-On Tools car, that's the most expensive car on the racetrack. I'm pretty sure if Adam Ball tries to pass that car, he's going to hear a cash register go ching.
Oh, yeah, they're making payments on all of that. $40 for a utility knife. I can't imagine what a race car costs. Watching the 85 now of Ethan Van Collier out of St. Clair Shores, Michigan. And, hey, Mom, he's on TV, in case you didn't know. But there's a whole gaggle of Fords here running from 10th back on to 15th. So 6 cars in a row. Going to be interesting when we add that 4th manufacturer.
Oh, boy. Are we going Honda next? Are we going Honda or Dodge?
I don't care what they do in the Cup Series. The Ram is coming to trucks. And I've already said that whoever takes that first Ram truck body in the Truck Series, they're my new driver.
I mean, Cletus McFarland already shot that one down.
It's because he has a relationship with Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is obviously very Chevy heavy.
Meanwhile, back at
and if I was personal friends with Dale Earnhardt Jr., I wouldn't like anything but Chevrolet either. 3 wide they go. Watch Kyle Purcell in the 01 split the middle. He's going to crawl up over top of Charlie Widener in the 95. Widener's going to have to watch the 01 of Purcell now climb his way past, as we've got a little battle between North Carolina and Illinois. And according to Kyle, if he crashes, he's blaming the fruit snacks.
He is. He's going to blame the fruit snack. You know, for the better part of all season, they've been trying to free Vinny in the YouTube.com live chat.
"26 laps in the books here at Iowa Speedway. It's Brian Smith, J-Roll, Adam Bell, Jacob Smith, Nathan Finnegan, your top 5, with Bentley Glazer holding things together in 7th position. But right now, locked in a battle with Zach Lockett as they go side by side. The Mountain Dew machine crawls over top of the number 93 out of Vestal, New York, which, of course, he's a native of Vestal, New York. He is a transplant to Catawba. Pull up that driver information, see if you can figure this out. Catawba, North Carolina.
I'm not even going to try it. We
have
just
no
know it's
trouble
North
with St. Louis.
Carolina. But there he is, the Rocket, the Zach Lockett. He likes that nickname.
I'll bet he does. Now the question is, does his wife?
Nonetheless, Nathan Finnegan holding down that 3rd spot. A little bit deeper in the field, though. They were fighting Charlie Widener. Who, again, Dave, I'm sure you haven't seen his name for a very long time, but here he is, holding down the 17th position here in the Icon Cup Series.
Good old Uncle Chuck Woods, as he's going to run back here in the 98, as he works just over top of the 74 of Sean Purcell out of Rockford, Illinois, home of the Rockford Peaches. He, of course, is the PPE Truck Series champion, driving his number 74 on his way now. Having lost 8 positions, he's got a lot of work to overcome tonight here on lap number 30 of 210. And it appears now that Adam Ball and Bentley Glazer have both slid back in equal amount of positions as they run 5 and 6. They're down 3 from where they had begun. Brian Smith retains the lead. Nathan Finnegan, J-Roll, and Jacob Smith go 2, 3, and 4 behind him as they are all up basically a combined 10 positions from second to fourth. Brian Smith, though, leading the way and not turning around up here in the number 78 Ford Mustang.
Well, just as you say that, he is under fire from Nathan Finnegan. And I'm going to steal a line from you. Brian Smith is trying to run away like he owes Nathan get lunch money here.
Yeah, Finnegan, the Irishman, after Brian Smith, and right now he peaks to the inside, but he definitely doesn't have the momentum that it takes. He gets just close enough to the 78 and then has to back off.
Yeah, down to turns 3 and 4. You know, I did get to run about 30 laps over here at Iowa yesterday before I took in the World of Outlaw Super Late Models at Cedar Lake Speedway. Nonetheless, this track is just sort of, it's different from previous versions of Iowa.
Gotta love me some Iowa here in the Hawkeye State. Of course, not potato-ridden like their neighbor. More of a bird and corn state. And according to Professor Harold Hill, he always thought they preferred it Iowa.
Really? I like that.
I'd like to go to River City, Iowa, but it doesn't exist.
You go to Davenport, Iowa. I've been to Newton, Iowa. There ain't much there besides a racetrack.
Yeah, I could go to either one of those. Well, you know what they say about River City, and for those of you that are musical aficionados, they got a pool table there, and that starts with P, and that rhymes with T, and that stands for trouble. You got trouble right there in River City.
Nonetheless,
Brian Smith still leading the way here, and back here in a battle for 7th position, Bentley Glazer and Braxton DeWeese going at it hot and heavy as the Miamisburg, Ohio native, sponsored by Interstate Ford, Allen's Art Images, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, has his Ford now worked around Bentley Glazer as he secures away 7th position here on lap number 38.
yeah, just shy of that all-important stage break here. 2 stages tonight, one at the first stage break coming up, and it looks like Brian Smith's going to take stage number 1 unless Nathan Finnegan can get that 6th car past the Johnsonville sausage car. We got 2 laps to go till stage number 1 ends. The second stage will be ending at lap 1.
Yeah, drivers getting around the racetrack nice and gentle now, as you had mentioned a little while ago. First caution for cause as it was.
Nathan Finnegan taking another peek to the inside. Nope. We'll think better of it. Off of turn number 4. And Brian Smith will take stage number 1.
Brian Smith, as he comes across the start-finish line, watches the checkered flag fly. He's going to be followed by Nathan Finnegan, J-Roll, Jacob Smith, Adam Ball, Braxton DeWeese, Charlie Widener, Bentley Glazer, Kyle Purcell, and Zach Lockett. That is your top 10 as the iRacing.com pace truck crawls on out here and scurries now around the 78 as he's going to have to get around and bring the field under control. And that's going to open pit road so these drivers can come down for 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast. Right here, we want to welcome everybody into the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You're watching the Icon Cup Series right here on Sim Racing Media. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and making us a part of your evening and for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Brian Smith going to lead the wholesale pit stop parade down pit road as he gets ready for those Goodyears and Sunoco race fuel.
Everybody coming down pit road this time. except for Kevin Gunther. And it looks like Nathan Brzezowski not making the call here. And it looks like Evan Patinko not making the call either. But nonetheless, we're all down pit road.
I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about who's going to come off of pit road first. It's Brian Smith. He's followed by Nate Finnegan, Jacob Smith, Jay Roll, Adam Ball, Charlie Widener, Braxton DeWeese, Bentley Glazer, Kyle Purcell, and Zach Lockett. So everybody coming off of pit road just about how they assumed they would.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we are getting ready to get lined up for stage number 2. And I got to tell you, Dave, you sent me a picture. And I had spaghetti for dinner before we got on the air. But you sent me a picture. I'm like, that's what Dave Regal's having for dinner.
Oh, Dave is full of pork belly. Let me tell you right now. Went on over there to Venenzia's Butcher Shop in East Norton Township, Pennsylvania, and I'll tell you right now, fabulous piece of pork is what that is. And for those of you who are literary fans, we now know where the rabbits from Of Mice and Men went. They are in the freezer at Venenzia's Butcher Shop. They're apparently $6.99 a pound.
Nice. I tell you what, though, that made me want to have a pork steak. That's a St. Louis thing.
I was going to ask you what a pork steak was because that just doesn't sound like something we have here.
You don't have pork steaks in Pennsylvania.
Is that like a fat guy's version of pork chop? We have pork chops and we have ham steaks.
And we have pork steaks. Anyway,
all a ham steak is just a thick piece of ham.
It is.
Tell me that's what you people call a pork steak.
No.
All right. I don't want to have to fight over it.
Anyway.
Do they have them down there at the Costco? It's an exclusive membership.
I don't think they have one anywhere past Illinois.
I do have a Costco.
Google pork steak.
Tell our fans, Alan, what is on the pay-per-view here for the Peacock with the wrestling guys here?
Oh, it's SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, I see that on the big screen there.
Coming back to green flag to start stage number 2. Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan on the button. And we are back to green flag racing on lap number 45. We're off and running on stage number 2. Brian Smith getting out to an early lead. Here comes Jay Roll to the outside, trying to pull the power move to get that 2-for-1 special down the back straightaway.
Jay thought he was going to roll up here right to the lead without any problems, but he's only able to get by Nathan Finnegan as now they go wheel to wheel coming out of turn 4 and getting ready to cross the start-finish line, nearly making contact as the 6 of Nathan Finnegan hauls the male down into turn 1. Now the good run into 1 is the 39 of Jay Roll. He now sets himself up to the inside of the 78 of Brian Smith. He peeks to the outside now. He's trying to get around. He may have to take his time and be a little patient here before he makes the move to attack the leader.
Just a little bit further back here in that 5th position. Right now, Charlie Widener and Adam Ball were Goodyear to Goodyear coming down the back straightaway. They're going to hop in line and play nice. Here they go again. Adam Ball, Goodyear to Goodyear with Jacob Smith. And looking for that 4th position. He's going to grab that on lap number 48.
48 laps in the books. We're ticking them off real nice here at Iowa Speedway. And drivers not really getting separated from one another. You know, with these long green flag runs, a lot of times we see a little bit of extra distance between the machines there on the asphalt. But these guys have been able to keep those V8s cranked up and close to one another, as now we see the 4 of Jacob Smith sliding in front of the 95 of Charlie Widener. Smith finally gains a position as the 95 is up 9. Our big mover of the race right now is Braxton DeWeese running in 7th position. He's up 15 after qualifying in 22. And, of course, Braxton running in 7th for the time being.
Yeah, that number 8 car, he is a Dale Jr. fan. That's why he's running the 8 car on the side of that car. But he's under fire right now from Bentley Glazer, who currently holds down that 8th position. He's looking for more. Adam Ball, though, making a move to the outside around Nathan Finnegan. I think Adam Ball has found something on the outside. He's running that Kyle Larson.
Sometimes the Larson line is beneficial, especially at a place like Iowa. As we work here on lap number 51, just about a quarter of the way through this race. Not bad time overall as these drivers get their act together. Now the 8 machine of Braxton DeWeese peeks to the outside of the 95 of Charlie Widener. Now Widener's going to have to hold him off, and if he gets a little bit closer, he can probably use the 4 as a pick, but can't do it for now, as the 8 car is going to get boxed in by the 4. The 4 almost benefits the 95, and he's trying to give the 95 a break here, but it looks like DeWeese is going to get in front of Widener, and now even puts Jacob Smith here in the crosshairs. I guess, I don't think it's that Jacob Smith. No, it was Joseph Smith, my bad. Here, I was thinking Utah, Salt Lake City, made-up religions, but it's not.
Nonetheless, here we are, Braxton DeWeese going Goodyear to Goodyear with Jacob Smith, and he's going to grab the 6th to 5th position. Nathan Finnegan under fire from Jacob Smith and Braxton DeWeese all in the same time here. They're thinking about 3 wide.
While they think of 3 wide out of Clovis, New Mexico, is Adam Ball driving the number 19 machine. He's just about to try to battle Brian Smith, but has now backed off because he has to contend here with J-Roll. And side by side they go, and J-Roll is just about able to waggle his fingers through the window net here at Adam Ball driving the number 19. So a big battle between the 39 and the 19 as they haul it down into turn number 3, and now that kind of gives a little bit of a roll here to the 39, and J-Roll looks to the inside. He's ready to start challenging Brian Smith for the race lead.
Here we go, Brian Smith under fire, not 1, but 2 drivers. And insert end of the picture, Braxton DeWeese at number 8 car. And I tell you what, up 18 spots from where he started. He started way back there in that 22nd position, and here he is contending for 3rd right now.
The 78 trying to hold off the 39 of J-Roll as we work here on lap number 57 at Iowa Speedway. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. We want to thank all of you for tuning in and making us a part of your evening, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones.
Absolutely. Here comes Adam Ball looking to make a move on J-Roll. As they're going to think better of it.
Hey, every now and then you got to check up and get out of the way. You know, the last thing that you want to do is be too aggressive, especially this early in a race. And I realize that, you know, drivers may or fans may look and they think, oh, 60 laps, they're deep in. They're really not.
Especially to a 210 lap race. Now, Iowa Speedway is one of those tracks that, you know, designed by Rusty Wallace. You know, he had a hand in the design. I think it was a high-speed Richmond, if you will.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than Richmond here at Iowa Speedway. I mean, we're just a little under. I'm sorry. No, I guess we are slightly bigger. Richmond's 3/4. This is 8/10 and then some.
8/10 and a little bit on the tape measure there, but nonetheless, you know, I just love the multi-group races, and you know, just like today, I mean, these guys could, you know, later on in the stages, hustle these cars around the high side.
Working our way here on lap number 61 out of 210. Brian Smith leads J-Roll, Adam Bell, Nathan Finnegan, Braxton DeWeese, Jacob Smith, Charlie Widener, Zach Lockett, Bentley Glazer, and Kyle Purcell. That is your top 10. Deeper in the field right now is side-by-side action between Anthony Teseo and Kyle Diaz, as Diaz now has to fall behind. Meanwhile, Teseo out of St. Clair Shores, Michigan, another Michiganer. I'm guessing that this particular league is just littered with Wolverines.
You said it best. Left 63. Here it is, a three-car battle. Kyle Gilbert out of Paducah, Kentucky. Kentuckian. Driver out of Bluegrass State. Had a chance to talk with him last time he was out. And he, not originally from Paducah, but still lives in Kentucky. He does love living in Paducah. I told him, I said, next time we're down that way, we'll have to get together and hang out. Oh, what was that a moment?
Any closer, and he would have needed some tide to get the stain out of his ride. Good Lord. I'm here to entertain and inform. Of course, y'all can tune in on September 5th to 1410 WLSH or download the 1410 WLSH app, as yours truly will be returning to the football play-by-play airwaves.
J-Roll now up to second position. And Dave, I figured it out what we're going to do when we get to 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube.
Go on.
We're doing a shirtless broadcast. We're going to do it Bert Kreischer style.
Who says I'm not already doing that?
I'm not. I mean, they would make me put my shirt back on.
I mean, your wife begs you to turn it back on, and for some reason she likes the lights out every night. I don't understand why. A lovely woman, your wife. She's been nominated twice for sainthood, but beat out by popes. So it was either her or the Pope. Adam Ball here in the 19, just trying to hold off Jacob Smith in the 4 machine. That quad banger here all over the rear bumper of the 19 of Adam Ball, as the Clovis, New Mexico native has a rearview mirror full of Jacob Smith's Ford Mustang on lap number 69 of 210, just about 50 to go in stage number 2. Brian Smith has been dominant all night long. He now leads by about 0.3 of a second over J-Roll. And, J-Roll at this point in the evening, he's going to have to get himself settled in, maybe consider just hanging back for at least a little while, even as he drafts up ever so closer to J-Roll, to Brian Smith. Good Lord, watch the 6 and the 39 trying to haul the mail down as the 6 is all over the 39's bumper.
Yeah, here we are on lap number 70, and also, when we can catch you on the radio in September, broadcasting some high school football, you can come find me at the world famous Highland Speedway on August 13th, and I will be there covering, taking photos, if you will. Come find me, come say hi, and enjoy some great late model racing on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of the real life dirt track action out there, and man, that's exciting, especially when you get to translate what we do here on Sim Racing Media into the real world. And of course, I don't get to spend a whole lot of time at racetracks. Mine's usually spent covering parades, the news every day, and now football again.
I love it.
And I promise not to make fun of anybody and get thrown back off the air.
Oh, slide job. J-Roll.
Note to self, do not say that someone was clotheslined like the WWE if they are the son of the sponsor.
Oh, no. You can't say that.
Happens.
You can't say that. I got nothing for that one. I can't even top that. But nonetheless, Brian Smith continues to lead.
It was just a bad night. After they had given us kibasi, pierogies, and iced tea.
That's a dangerous combination.
You know what Mrs. T's... Have you ever heard of Mrs. T's pierogies?
I have not.
Never mind then.
I can tell you one thing. The Rocket Zach Lockett working hard to get caught up to the... Not only get caught up, but past the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese, who is currently running in 7th. Now, Dave, I don't want to short circuit you, but I hope we can say side draft at Iowa. We just can't sit on the road course.
As long as you don't try to say side draft at the Chicago Street Course, I think we'll be fine. And speaking of which, next year, there will not be a Chicago Street Course, thank the good Lord. Instead, we will be going all the way out to the left coast to the home of course, my good friend who works out there. And, of course, he knows who he is. And we will be road racing in San Diego, California.
I am super excited for that one, Dave. I would love to try to make the trip out there and maybe even see Father Frank himself.
Yeah, it's gonna be a goal next year to head on out there to the West Coast, and of course he was taken by the local Fox station out there and made the San Diego NASCAR correspondent. Of course, you can hear Frank Marchese every day on the radio. If you're on the East Coast, it's from, of course, noon to 3 on the 97.3 The Fan on your Odyssey app. Check it out there. Another shameless plug for a fellow radio guy.
I wonder if we can hear him on the, Spotify, if they do a podcast. You know, sometimes they'll take your radio show and make it a podcast and throw it on Spotify.
There is a podcast, and it's basically the radio show played backwards.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Big news in the way of entertainment tomorrow. Are you aware of this?
I am not aware of anything.
Do you know what's coming tomorrow?
Monday?
No. We get to go back to Arlen, Texas. And on Hulu tomorrow, August 4th, the Hill family is returning. Hank is back. All is good with the world. And that boy still ain't right. Watching the 78 of Brian Smith as we get back to the racetrack, he's now got nearly a full second and just about a full second over J-Roll here in that P2 slot. These drivers are starting to get more strung out than the line in front of a methadone clinic as Jacob Smith's going to dive on down. So plenty of room between each of these racers as we work here on lap number 84, just 40 laps shy or just under 40 laps away from the stage 2 break.
Right now, Anthony Tizio up 10 spots. But Braxton DeWeese continues that march forward as he is Goodyear to Goodyear with Bentley Glazer. He's going to pull the proverbial parachute and come down pit road. And that looks like a speeding penalty. I did get to make 30 laps here at Iowa over the weekend. And, the league that I ran with is going to remain nameless. If you know, you know.
IYKYK.
That's right.
Is that a hashtag or not?
That's a hashtag.
We're going to see these drivers rack them back up after the stage break. But Bentley Glazer here in the 87 on the recovery drive has now gotten back up into 4th position. Charlie Widener, one of the biggest movers. However, the largest mover of the night has been transferred over to Kyle Diaz here in the 26 machine. We see him here in his Ford Mustang out of Colton, California. Never even heard of Colton, California.
I think it's
I went
one
to
of
school
those,
with a kid named Colton once.
I think it's one of those ones. I had to tell Emmett Thursday or Wednesday night that Bell Buckle, Tennessee was actually a town that we actually had to Google.
Kidding. I'd never heard of it.
Oh, the boss, John Ross.
Speaking of Tennessee, you know it was Bristol, baby.
Yes. It also rained out, and they finished it today.
This just in as I'm getting updates about a broadcast over on the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, also known as the worldwide leader in sports. They can officially kiss my grits. They called Nick Castellanos a notoriously bad defender. And in this household, that's enough to get you castrated, not Castellanos.
Oh, these guys are just riding around here. Charlie Widener going to go up to the lead. Kyle Purcell in that 0-1 car, he's up to the lead also. But I feel like that this Nathan Finnegan and Jacob Smith could very well be the battle for the lead.
Well, the genitalia of the broadcasters on ESPN has now been threatened. Charlie Widener takes over the race lead here as Kyle Diaz is going to come on down pit road. 14 spots up is Widener, and if we take a peek at the pit strategy, especially moving around the racetrack for the time being, I mean, most of these drivers all have 50 laps on. Now, Finnegan, of course, came in after 41 and 39 laps, and now is 11 laps on the tires there of his number 6. Now, he's only down 2 positions from where he had qualified. So maybe he knows something that we don't. Maybe he's able to stretch the fuel a little bit further or stretch the tires and just need to come in for fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. I could have said it any better here. As, you know, I certainly think that running on Tuesday night with the trucks here really taught drivers like Charlie Widener, Bentley Glazer, you know, Charles Woods. I really feel like that taught them some things that maybe they could learn for tonight. And, you know, I even touched on that a little bit in my post-race with Bentley Glazer. And he said, no, but I mean, I think any laps, knowing that you're going to come to this series, and this series is hard enough as it is, but any laps and anything you can learn about the racetrack is valuable. I don't care if you're driving a Matchbox car.
No, you can still boogie around this pretty well, especially as we're closing in now on the halfway point in this race. Now it looks like Charlie Widener is out to a 3.3 second lead. That, I'll tell you this much, that competition caution that's going to come out at the end of stage 2 is going to mean everything. As we want to thank everybody for tuning into the YouTube.com live feed. Dominic Teseo saying that he is a huge Dave Regal fan, and quite frankly, as we take a look here at Dominic Teseo, who's running around this racetrack right now. Well, we're watching Anthony Teseo, that is, here in the 15 machine. I guess if you're looking for a cheap way to get some airtime, especially if you're from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, the way is to say that you are a huge Dave Regal fan and stroke the Oligo. And really, the most simple way is to paint your race truck with Howdy Dave Regal on it. That was the best thing anybody's ever done.
I was actually surprised. I take that back. I wasn't surprised at that. I kind of expected, especially from Kane Hodgson. go to the end of the stage. So far, Charlie Widener stretching the stage out, looking to get those oh-so-valuable stage points. As Adam Ball finds himself 3 laps down.
Big shout out to our fans in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Brad and Kathy checking in on the old text thread. They've been breaking my stones most of the evening now, as we're 110 laps left to go in this race. Charlie Widener leads the way, but we've had a change of position now for P4 as Jacob Smith and Sean Purcell are ready to duke it out. Purcell last was down on lap 41. Smith on 83. Everybody pretty well spread out here.
Yeah, absolutely here. And, while they're spread out, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the night. You won't miss a thing. We'll be right back because we're going to go find out. Welcome back to Iowa Speedway. We're working lap number 114. Just a handful of laps to go. As right now, Brian Smith continues to do Brian Smith things up here in the front, as he now has almost a full second over Nathan Finnegan. Well, and you have Dave Riegel and myself, Alan Bergen in the booth. And Dave, I got to tell you what, I know you're a huge radio star, but I was just looking up during the break, and Lonnie Anderson of the hit series WKRP in Cincinnati had passed away just days before her 80th birthday.
Yeah, Lonnie Anderson, of course, a favorite actress of Morty Seinfeld from the television show back in the 90s. Passing away at just around that 80-year-old mark, and you know what? It's not like anybody. It's not like anybody thinks that it's a surprise. Once you hit that 80 mark, you're toward the front of the line.
I tell you what, growing up though, I did watch that show religiously, and my favorite
absolutely on TV Land.
Yes, my favorite episode was the turkey drop episode.
Oh, that's almost everybody's. But, can I just say, and I had this discussion as we're just about at the end of stage 2 here. I had a discussion with somebody the other day who was of a younger persuasion, as I have now gotten old enough where there's more gray in my beard than not. And this person did not know that Nick at Night that there was no TV Land, and that Nick at Night started at like 9 p.m. after Nickelodeon's programming was off the air.
Yep.
And you had like Tuesday night was Jeannie, and Wednesday night was Mary Tyler Moore, and Monday night was like Happy Days. It wasn't. There was certainly no original programming.
You're hating me. Wow. Oh, I could go one better. You get late. So okay, my mother, God rest her soul, out there in heaven, she knew what time of the night it was based on what show was on Nick at Night.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember being we're getting a report of no sound on the feed. Is that confirmed?
I have sound.
Didn't ask if you had sound. They can't hear. According to Christian Boss and Jordan. Let me check here. Well, Randall Peasley says he's got sound, and I've got it pulled up here on the old Met device, and that's here. Brian Smith going to be awarded the green and white checkered flag at the end of stage 2. He'll be followed by Nathan Finnegan, J-Roll, Jacob Smith, Bentley Glazer, Kyle Purcell, Patrick Colby, Zach Lockett, Charles Van Schaik, and Kyle Diaz. Charles Van Schaik sounds like someone who was on trial at Nuremberg.
Absolutely. But these guys are going to come down pit road. That's the end of stage 2. Brian Smith sweeping the stages here. And, here's a couple drivers that are staying out till the second time around because, they missed pit road the first time. This would be about the time that I'm getting an angry text on my phone if you're in the broadcast booth and I'm driving.
Want to welcome everyone into the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Booth. Dave Riegel and Alan Bergen with you here as always as we've got the band back together here on a Sunday night. Brian Smith, our race leader, has been dominant all night long. Let's see if we can get a hold of him here in the in the Discord channel.
Oh, I'm certainly we can.
Hey, Brian, it's Dave and Alan up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Brian, listen, you've been dominant all night long. What's going to be the strategy here in stage 3 as we get ready to head into the twilight of this race?
It's pretty simple. Stay out front, get clean air. just trying to keep the 6 behind me. He caught me at the end of that first stage, and then I waited a little longer than him to pit on that pit stop there. So luckily the 2-tire strategy was the right call and still able to win the stage. But yeah, just going to have to stay out front and keep the clean air.
Now, with just less than 90 laps to go in this piece, are you thinking one more stop, or is this going to be a 2-stop run to the end?
If it goes green, probably one, but yellows could throw a wrench in all that. So we'll just have to see what happens.
All right, brother. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the way. Hopefully we see you there in victory lane in just under 90 laps. And, hey, go with God and don't take any wooden nickels. Good luck, brother.
All right, thanks, guys.
That, of course, the voice of the driver of the number 78, Brian Smith, and his Ford Mustang. We're going to move him back on down here to his race chat. Back into the Buddy Motorsports stable.
Yeah, that was a great interview right here, though. Now we're at 77 degrees, the track temperature 83 degrees, and a 55% relative humidity. We're under partly cloudy skies. We're in the twilight of not only the race, but daylight hours as Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan get ready to bring the field back to green. Pace car dives off. Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan with the button, and we are back to green flag racing to start stage number 3.
As the green flag flies, Brian Smith, who we just talked to, comes across, nearly making contact with the nose of Nathan Finnegan, driving the number 6, as Finnegan is not about to be put to bed early, as he's ready to go fender to fender now with the 78.
These two are definitely still Goodyear to Goodyear, coming out of turn number 4 into the triangle. Side by side they go down to turn number 1. Let's not discount anybody else back here, as Zach Lockett right now, he is Goodyear to Goodyear with Kyle Diaz.
Brian Smith still trying to hold off Nate Finnegan. Now, we heard just a moment ago that he thought that Finnegan, whoa! As Finnegan gets ready to lay down the old Dale Sr. bump and run, he goes side by side. And now the 78 of Smith is under fire as we've got a battle for the lead that is hotter than hot. Oh, wow.
Hotter than hot.
That was dirtier than a urine test for Snoop Dogg. Too soon?
I got nothing there.
Oh, well, my partner tries to figure out what day of the weekend is.
Brian Smith just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 22.65. Keeping Nathan Finnegan in check there. And he's hoping that, here under, I don't know, 80, 89, 88 to go, that, he's hoping to put Nathan Finnegan in the checkmate. And I tell you what, Dave, these guys have been a magnet for each other all season long.
Right now, Brian Smith seems to have been able to calm things down for the time being. But a big gap between 11th and, of course, the end of those lead lap cars, which are currently held down by Robert Goggle. Good Lord, what is all this, Matt?
Robert Bloom.
Robert Goggles Paisano. Out of Duncan, British Columbia. I didn't know that they had people with the last name of Paisano in British Columbia. It's like being a kid in King Arthur's court or an albino at the Apollo Theater.
Our neighbor from the
Are
north.
Italians even allowed? Are Italians even allowed in Canada?
Sure.
Huh. You know, John Cena's on the TV.
Oh, it's the street fight going on at the SummerSlam pay-per-view for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. And right now, unlike CM Punk's title reign lasted only 5 minutes, this battle for the lead has lasted all race long. Here comes the 39 car. He's up 6 spots. He's on the inside looking for the 2-1. He's not going to get it, but he will get by Nathan. And here comes J-Roll looking for the lead as he's getting ready to duke it out with the 78 car of Brian Smith. He is on the move. He's a part-timer, but he's been racing here the last couple of weeks now. As he has forced Brian Smith to the outside.
We work here on lap number 135. Now, Nate Finnegan has kind of drifted back here. He parks himself into third position for the time being. You know, one of the things that we see more often than not in any form of racing, it doesn't have to be iRacing, but even in the real world, we see drivers that sometimes overcook their equipment, and next thing you know, they go from contending for the lead to holding on to the top 5 and then, suddenly hemorrhaging positions like it's that time of the month.
Ooh, Nathan Finnegan just grabbed the wall as he was on his episode of Cops just now. They're not as clever as yours. I'm working on it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love entertainment like this, you can join Dave Regal tomorrow night as he will hop in the booth with the guys at V-Speed as they bring you.
I will not be tomorrow night. We actually, no. We are off for the rest of the season. That was the end of the summer series. Keep your eyes open over on V-Speed and, of course, on GoatLockerRacing.org for our new season to be coming out for the fall. I will still be on Monday night ARCA series action.
I may or may not be signing up for that.
Actually, I was just told that I will be on the ARCA series.
I may or may not be signing up for racing as an AM driver, though. Not a pro driver, but an amateur driver.
Well, I mean, the ARCA series is fantastic over there. They have a pro and an AM series. I love it. Can't get me enough of it. And the schedule just came out. Actually, we'll be going green flag racing for the season starting at Talladega Super Speedway on August 25th over there on V-Speed. Then we will be racing all the way through December 15th, where everything will culminate in a Championship 4 race at Kentucky Speedway.
So you're really saying you better start practicing?
I mean, here's the thing. The ARCA series is not going to Daytona. They're going to race Talladega this season. But they mix everything in. They've got, they open with the Super Speedway at Talladega. Then we go to Texas, which is a mile and a half. So it goes Texas, Charlotte, Richmond. So that's just less than, a mile. Just one road course. I've got a league that we used to be associated with here at Sim Racing Media that was just, it's not that they were road course happy, but they followed the regular NASCAR schedule, and it turned into just a road course festival for a few weeks, and I hated it.
Kind of like this league?
Look, Watkins Glen is going to be on September 29th, and I'm wondering if I'm sick that day.
Well, next week, Shane Cochran makes his return to the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast Group as we will be in Watkins Glen to settle out the final spots in this playoffs here. And, Dave, I kind of like the playoff format because as time runs out, so does the patience, if you will. But next Sunday night, August 10th, 54 laps of Watkins Glen. Myself, and Shane Cochran will be in the booth. Then on August 17th, For 250 laps, we go to Richmond, and then we go to Daytona on Sunday, August 25th. That's a typo. For 96 laps. I know you love Daytona. On September 7th, we go. It's a home race for yours truly here on September 7th, as it is. It's Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, I know you love your Gateway, and you know what? You're allowed to. You know what? I was thinking about you the other day. I was having a conversation with somebody as we work lap number 147. Brian Smith, still your race leader, drivers pretty well separated. Watching Bentley Glazer here hunting over the back bumper of Patrick Colby in the 28. Little Ford on Chevy action here as we work on 148. But the question was raised to me the other day, and for some reason, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me, but you live in Missouri. Who calls it Missouri and why?
Oh, gosh. Anybody that doesn't live in Missouri.
So if they say, we're going to Missouri, that means that they don't live there.
Right. Well, yeah. So
Okay.
here, it's almost like, you know how you go out of town, right? You go out of town, like for me.
I do.
I live in a small town just south of St. Louis, right? So if you were to ask me where I'm from, I'm automatically going to tell you I'm from St. Louis. But I live exactly 30 minutes below St. Louis.
But the point is that you would never say it's like people from Iowa. We're from Iowa. You know, I realize that was in the Music Man, but you would never say you're from Missouri or
No.
from the great state of Missouri or Mizzou.
We're from Missouri. Missouri.
10-4? Those are the things I want to know because, you know, it's just like when I correct somebody on the way that they say something because I don't want them to sound like a tourist or, you know, deranged when they're speaking. I'll correct you and say, hey, listen, you don't say it that way because you don't want them to sound like a weirdo. I can do that all on my own with other stuff.
It's just like I tell people that, I got my friend Dave who lives in Philly, right? You guys say Philly all the time.
Yeah, we would say Philly for the most part. Now, I personally like to say Philadelphia, but only because I like to say the word.
It's almost like the cream
Thank you,
cheese.
Scott Fransky. It's not almost like the cream cheese. It's made here. You can get it.
I still need to make it out there, and you know, I am waiting for the day that I get to go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to make Mike the Money really jealous here. Because on the 13th during the day, our company that I work for is taking the company to the ball.
At Busch Stadium?
Yeah, I'm not sticking around for it.
Did you know Busch Stadium was named such? Well, Busch Beer was named such because of baseball. Are you aware of this whole thing? All right, never mind. I don't need to go there.
So the owners of the Cardinals before the ownership now, back in the day, the early days of the Cardinals, was actually owned by Adolphus Busch, who also named Busch Stadium.
Well, he wanted to name it Budweiser. They said you couldn't because it was a beer. So what he did was he said, fine, I will name it Busch Stadium. And after the stadium was named, then he introduced Busch Beer.
Now, how many other stadiums in the country do you get a Clydesdale parade on opening day?
I mean, nowhere.
Exactly.
And quite honestly, I feel like Cincinnati does baseball the right way. They have a parade on opening day every year since 1876. It's beautiful. I would even if the Phillies weren't playing in Cincinnati on opening day, I would love to go there and just just be part of opening day in Cincy. Whoa! Whoa! The 85 all kinds of loose all over the racetrack, being shifted back. Sean Purcell is down pit road. Ethan Van Collier is off pace and just being ran over top of.
It looks like
He says, hey, Mom, I'm on TV. He almost went to the morgue.
And he's going to get up a lot of the wall there. He had Carlos very uncomfortable there as he is all the way back down to the 25th position. 21 spots in the wrong way. He's trying to keep it off the wall and maybe try to get an opportunity to get down below the racing surface. Doing the smart thing, trying not to get crossed up. He's going to do it again.
$50 laps to go now from Iowa Speedway. Dave Regal and Alan Bergen with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. You're watching the Icon Cup Series live on Sim Racing Media. We want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube.com, for welcoming, and we want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes, onto your phones, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. And of course, busy night on Sim Racing Media this week. You'll have Alan and I tonight, and then Wednesday I'll be over there covering the Outlaw Sim Series Truck Series.
Yes. Rick Webb, a great addition to that fold over there with you in the booth. Myself and Emmett will be at Worldwide Technology Raceway for Wednesday night's Racers Elite coverage. And I tell you what, Dave, that Xfinity series over there at the Racers Elite Series is shaping up to be a fun one there. 20 cars last week took the green flag, and the field just keeps getting better. The boss, John Ross, in the field last week. And, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounded like it did. I don't know if you pay attention, just to touch baseball one more time. First of all, the Phillies climbed back into first place in the East with a half-game lead over the Mets. But did you see who the Phillies just picked up from Minnesota? Harrison Bader.
Yes.
Do you think Harrison's dad's name is Master?
Maybe.
Say it in your head.
That's almost like the title I want to have on a fishing boat, too.
We got 9 Jennies. You could be a shrimp boat captain. Charles Van Schaik back here from Levittown, Pennsylvania. Local boy representing the 215 in his Ford Mustang. Crawls just ahead of Patrick Colby. Van Schaik now up into 6th place after qualifying P11. Wonder if someone I know knows him. Let me check in here with the reference team.
Maybe. I don't know. But he's going to grab some of the wall there. We're working on number 67. He's battling Patrick Colby. Patrick Colby going to get that advantage. One good time. That's a Crown Royal car.
Bear with me here. It's got to be him. He's the sales manager at Colonial Subaru. Must know a lot of people in my sister's community. Let me check in with our Schuylkill County representative and see if she knows anybody from Colonial Subaru.
We had a commercial here in St. Louis. Dean Teen Subaru. And they would make the coming up through the gearbox. And it was like Subaru.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Subaru, but it is what it is.
Well, just as Brian Smith predicted it here, lap number 170, he has pulled a proverbial parachute Now, if there's anybody in this field that knows how to save fuel, well, it's that guy in the number 23 car, Charles Van Schaik, who can play the fuel mileage game about as good as anybody I've seen in a while. And, you know, Dave, you and I have come across a lot of people that we've covered races for that can absolutely save fuel at the best of them.
Yeah, you know, over the years, I've seen some drivers that during green flag racing will suddenly start to cycle their throttle. And I mean, you know, to be Charles Van Schaik up here after coming in 50 laps ago, he's going to come down pit road as he gives up the lead and hands it back off to Nate Finnegan, who last came down on lap 159. So Finnegan may be trying to stretch this as far as he can, as he's going to have to get down to the nitty-gritty of dust in his fuel tank if he thinks he's going to pull this one off. Now, Finnegan is gapping Kyle Purcell now by about 22 seconds, 10 seconds, that is. Obviously, I can do math.
We do St. Louis math in my booth.
It's better than doing Philadelphia math.
Hey!
Hey, whoop. Now, the 23 of Van Schaik just came down pit road. It looked like he got his pit service about 14 seconds worth, so that's a full tank of Go Fast. And if you're going to take those 14 seconds, you might as well change the tires, as Nathan Finnegan, out of Coventry, Rhode Island, the 2024 Icon Cup Series champion, takes over the race lead now ahead of Kyle Purcell by about 10.8 seconds here on lap number 174. We are now officially less than 40 to go with only one caution this evening for cause.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, you know, to only be racing at what would most consider a short track, I mean, race time has only been an hour 17. So, I mean, these guys are hauling the mail, blistering fast pace here. As we're going to take a look at that weather one last time. I sound like a radio show host. 77 degrees outside in the stands, and that track is now 85 degrees. We are still under a partly cloudy sky. And Dave, you and I both know that the humidity means everything in the Midwest.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot over the years, especially, you know, in your forte, which is dirt racing. 52% humidity is just about comfy. You know, when it's only 77 outside, it's that dew point here on the East Coast, and once that hits about 70 degrees, you start to get sweat rolling down the crack of your butt like Niagara. Nathan Finnegan now leads the way as the 23 of Charles Van Schaik gets his lap back the old-fashioned way. Finnegan leads the race now, and he came down on lap 159. Brian Smith, though, 10-lap newer tires, being gapped by Finnegan by about 10.4 seconds.
Oh, well, here we go. Nathan Finnegan. Brian Smith, though, 10 seconds back. That's the eyeball test. Well, there is no eyeball test. You know, 10 seconds, you wouldn't think it's that long, but on the racetrack, Dave, I said this 1,000 times, that's an eternity.
Well, right now, the way that Smith is making his way around this piece, especially 179 laps in, currently Finnegan is leading him by just about 9.7 seconds, but Smith has been gaining on Finnegan for the last 5 laps or so. Since 174, he has been consistently about a half second and then some faster than Finnegan is Smith. And as they came across the line on lap 179, looks like Smith was about 0.676 seconds faster than Nathan Finnegan.
Yeah, Nathan Finnegan held up in lap traffic, though, by Adam Ball, who is a number of laps down, making 3 laps down. I don't know what happened to Adam Ball that he would be 3 laps down, but I'd imagine it'd been a pit road speeding penalty.
I can tell you this much, he's not happy.
Oh boy. Not happy at all, but one guy on the racetrack that is happy right now. Might not be happy after he gets around in the 72 car with Brad Delph. That is Nathan Finnegan, fellow Irishman.
Oh my. The 66 today in the real life race was painted for King of the Hill.
Did you see the
That does
propane
break my
access?
heart.
Did you see the propane where the gas is? Where the gas
Absolutely.
is?
I am such a fan. I'm a fan.
I will be sad though because some of the characters I believe are going to be missing.
They won't be missing as much as they're going to be revoiced. It's a whole thing. Brittany Murphy, tragically passed away. There's a couple of different things that will be different.
That was our Sunday night show though on television. Was that in the Simpsons?
That was. Yep, I'm a fan. Speaking of being a fan right now, 10 drivers left on the lead lap. So we're at that point of the evening where Nathan Finnegan, who leads this race here in the 6 machine with 25 laps to go, is just ahead of Brian Smith, who's been dominant all night long. We talked to him a little while ago. Jacob Smith in that Quattro machine, running in third with Bentley Glazer and Kyle Purcell holding things together at the rear end of the top 5. Zach Lockett, Kyle Diaz, Charles Van Schaik, Brad Delph, and Patrick Colby make up the rest of your top 10. And as I had mentioned, we see here on the left-hand side of your screen, that is your top 10 is only your lead lap cars at this point.
Absolutely. Braxton to reach one lap down with hope for a caution. But the 11th place of Brock Hersey of Colorado City Racing, he would be the lucky dog, and dare I say lucky dog. He would get the national relief spot.
Pretty good battle breaking out here between Kyle Purcell and Kyle Diaz as they go side by side. Watch the 01 here over top of the 26.
Whoa!
Oh, they make contact. It sends the 26 down to the infield. He's going to come back up the racetrack. He gathers it in, and he should probably play the Powerball because that was a lucky save if I ever saw one. With saves like that, the Cardinals might actually be a contender.
You had to take a shot at it.
Look, this is the first time all season long that the Phillies have had a serviceable closer that's not on PEDs.
Oh man! And here's the thing too. The game we're going to is on the 13th. We're playing the Rockies, so of course I've worked it out with my supervisor. We're gonna eat some hot dogs, eat a couple burgers, watch a couple of these movies. We gone.
Yeah, especially if they're going to suck wind.
Exactly.
There have been times where I feel the same way. Tune into the Phillies game. I watch them starting to be awful, and why would I subject myself to it? Hell, I'm about to have 17 weeks of it for the National Football League.
That's true. 18 to go.
Yeah, 18 laps left here at Iowa Speedway, and believe me, once again, being a fan of the team that I am here just outside the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, it's like being an albino at the Apollo.
I feel bad for you on some days.
Yeah. No, as a Cowboys fan, I have come to hate my life from every August through the end of December.
That's fair.
And I've been plotting the death of an 82-year-old man. You know, people say, now, and I love it, if I can digress with 16 laps to go here at Iowa, people said that Joe Biden was too old to run the country and that he was confused and he didn't know what he was doing and he was a blithering idiot. Yet for some reason, the Jones family thinks everything's fine with Jerry. Nothing to see here, folks, they say.
Maybe Biden and Jerry Jones will be in the same old folks.
Probably not. Joe Biden would rather be in a government-funded one, and Jerry would much prefer to be 6 feet under. It's not the only place he should be.
14 laps to go. It is Collar City Racing versus Buddy Motorsports. Buddy Motorsports right now, the race for Ed right now would have the second and third podium spots, pretty much sealed up here. Just as you had mentioned, Brian Smith has been ever so slightly closing in, and I dare say it, Dave, but I think the sands of the hourglass are starting to run out for Brian Smith.
Yeah, time is slowly running out here, and at least at this moment for the time being, he's got a lot of work to do ahead of him.
Well, Brian Smith, if he wants to contend for his first lead, he's going to have some help by the form of the yellow rag. Doesn't to go. Nathan Finnegan continues to lead over Brian Smith by 4.5 seconds. Jacob Smith currently 5 seconds behind Brian Smith, with Bentley Glazer battling out there for the last podium with 11 to go. Now Bentley Glazer's ran a smooth race all race long here. Nice and smooth, easy on the gas. My kind of race going on right there. And the Rocket Zach Lockett, he is a little bit further back as he is trying to get around that number 98 car of Charles Woods.
Yeah, I mean, a dime piece to go here at Iowa Speedway, and just now I'm watching the time between Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan. For the first time in the last 5 laps, and really the last 15 laps, I see 2 red numbers here, and it may be 3. We're about to see it happen as we hit that 2-century mark on 2:01. And yeah, all of a sudden, Brian Smith starting to lose ground on Nathan Finnegan, who holds about a 4.8 second lead over Smith. So Finnegan at this point, he may be set the way that he's got to be, as he's 10 laps shorter than Brian Smith after his last pit stop. So he's either praying or really doing something crazy down there.
I'm going to go with the latter. I think he's doing something crazy, but Nathan Finnegan has put it on cruise control, has checked out. He's halfway out of Newton, Iowa. As we got a yellow flag. Oh, boy. Checking.
That's probably not what Nate wanted to see here.
Nate didn't want to see it. Brian Smith loved it. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's probably going to be a 14 car. Nothing showing up on my end.
Do we want to call it a debris caution?
Well, let's see what happened there to the 14 car. There it is. Gets into the wall. And, Hank Hill is not happy.
Happens.
That's the reason for the caution. Coming back out for the line shot. There it is. Just for you, Dave.
Well, that's exciting. I don't think you understand how excited I am for this to happen.
I would imagine you're like a kid at Christmas.
Look, last week I got a chance to watch the Happy Gilmore sequel, Happy Gilmore 2. And I got to be honest, I was pretty skeptical at first because when you see a reboot of something or a sequel that is as long past due as Happy Gilmore 2 is, you get a little scared that they might be cheesy, that they might just be really mailing it in as a money grab. But you got to remember, especially on a platform like Netflix, they don't have to worry about, ticket sales at the box office. You have to worry about, eyeballs on your platform and what's streaming. So overall, pretty much everybody has Netflix. It's like asking if somebody has Prime. You either have health insurance or you have Prime, But, that's what has me so excited. If you do this right, you can have a great production. And speaking of doing things right, Nate Finnegan is going to need to do everything right here, as we should be 3 laps to go when we come back green. So it'll be 1 lap over what would typically be considered NASCAR overtime.
Absolutely. And Brian Smith. Nathan Finnegan, though, before we go to Brian Smith, has been so good on restarts. Only our second caution for cause here tonight. The other 2 cautions were for stage breaks. Apparently, Dave, Brock Lesnar came back.
Not ringing a bell, pal.
Oh, boy. Brock Lesnar and WWE SummerSlam. Nonetheless, here, we're getting ready to go overtime racing here. As all these guys came down to get a final splash of fuel, there's a whole lot of wave around cars. A lot of people getting back on the lead lap. I mean, Dave, we are in for an absolute slugfest here with Nathan Finnegan and Brian Smith. The only person that did not want to see the yellow flag come out was the driver of that 6 car. As we get ready to come back to green flag racing.
Yeah, he's going to have to do everything right on the restart, as it's going to be Finnegan, Smith, Lockett, Smith, Glazer, Purcell, Diaz, Van Schaik, Colby, and Delph, your top 10. But Finnegan has opted for the high side. And the Iggy's number 6 Chevrolet Camaro going to come out of turn 4. The iRacing.com pace truck peels on down pit road. All of a sudden, the green flag flies. Barney waves his hands, and off we go. Nate Finnegan with a great restart is going to go door handle to door handle now with the 78. The 78 of Brian Smith slides just ahead of Finnegan, but he's not able to scamper away, not by a long shot as we work here with 2 laps to go. The popsicle sticks are in the air.
Coming out of turn number 4, the popsicle sticks go down. The white flag comes out. We're bringing us home, Dave.
The white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Side by side they go. The 78 just bumps and runs the 6 and disables him, and now bleeds away the lead. Now Jacob Lockett all of a sudden gets around the 78. The checkered flag comes out, and a surprise at the end of this piece. Jacob Smith and Zach Lockett come across the start-finish line, and Brian Smith shuffled back to 3rd position after it looked like, and we could probably go back and look at it. We may not want to because it could get ugly. But Brian Smith, it looked like, did something maybe not so friendly there to the 6 machine. As he was able to bump and run, it disabled the 6 and it opened the door for the 4 and the 93 to get on by for P1 and 2.
Yeah, here is that replay right now. Brian Smith looks like he's going to dive down to the inside. And, oh, they touch. what a race we just saw. Jacob Smith and Brian Smith doing dual burnouts. In fact, all of Buddy Motorsports getting in on it. How about the Rocket, Zach Lockett up 11 positions to finish second? We get ready to get
Heading on over here, waiting for these guys to hop into the waiting room. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It's been incredible, especially watching the final lap of this. Really, more like the last half lap. We're going to get a hold of Jacob Smith here, driver of the number 4. Hey, Jake, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah, guys, we got a copy.
Buddy, listen, that had to be the craziest finish to a race that I've seen in a long time. Obviously, Brian gets on by the 6 machine, and bad things happen. He bleeds those 2 out, and here you are in victory lane.
Yeah, I nailed the restart there. I knew Brian and Nathan were both going to be super aggressive, so I don't know, gave myself some space. I saw Finnegan dive it down into 1 on the white flag and had a feeling I was in the hot seat to pick up a win here. So Brian had a nice recovery, got P3, but I'm super glad, obviously, with what happened.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you get insanely lucky, and that's where you were tonight. So, congrats to you for being in the right place at the right time and handling that restart, with literal precision. It was incredible to see. But before we cut you loose tonight and you can go celebrate with the team here in Iowa, who helped you get it done on the 4 machine?
Yeah, like always, every week we've got the Midwest Euro Parts Ford Mustang. Glad we were able to put it in victory lane again. Ryan, Jake, everybody here at Buddy Motorsports. Jake did a great job here being a part-time driver. So, it was just a team effort overall and got a double podium out of it.
All right, my friend. Well, listen, congratulations, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
That the voice of your race winner, Jacob Smith, driver of the number 4. And Alan, I believe you have with you now down on pit road, Zach Lockett, driver of the number 93.
Zach, what a great run that you had there. Unfortunately, couldn't culminate into a race win, but take us through the race and where you could have needed to get by Jacob Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I could have done is just, gave him a shot in the quarter panel. I had a split second to make a decision, and if I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it really cleanly and not just send it in there and, have an Austin Dillon at Richmond kind of thing. And I backed out of it and thought I could maybe get under him, but just didn't have enough grip with taking 2 tires for my lefts to stick there. But yeah, would have been nice to cement ourselves in the playoffs. I think I'm right near the bubble there, 14th, 13th range. So it would have been nice, but we'll take P2. It was pretty consistent all night, running around that 5th through 10th range. Track was really gripped up. It was really hard to pass later in a run, and fall off wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. But overall, can't hate a P2. I don't think I've gotten on the podium yet this year. This league's crazy with talent, so it's when you get up here, you feel good and you deserve it. So happy about it.
Absolutely. But before we get you out of here, who do you want to thank and who helped you get it done here on this number 93 car?
Yeah, I got to thank everyone at Adrenaline, John McNeil, Evan, and Nate Przowski. A couple of them had tough races. John went 6 for 6 NA fixed races this week at this track, so I know John was really looking forward to it. So felt bad that he got caught up in a wreck early. So got to give a shout out to everyone at Adrenaline and Icon here. This league has been it's been a grind. It's a really good league. It's really competitive, and everyone is always fast every night. So got to give a shout out to everyone in the league, Ryan and Nate and all the admins, and to Chuck at Go Racing Diecast. Usually got my purple car out here tonight, but got the Adrenaline car, and usually have that Go Racing Diecast sponsor. So shout out to him for the sponsor this year, and really appreciate it.
All right. Well, congratulations on the P2, and Dave, back up to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. That the voice of Zach Lockett. And last but certainly not least tonight, Brian Smith, driver of the number 78. Hey, Brian, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth to get a copy.
Hey, Dave, I got you.
Buddy, listen, tough break for you at the end of this piece. I mean, you exchanged some paint there with Nathan Finnegan, and you wind up finishing third instead of the lead. What was going through your head, and what was happening down there on the racetrack?
Well, all that was going through my head was I'm going to hold the high line, and my left side tires are about 40 laps fresher than his, and I felt like I was going to prevail. I absolutely nailed that restart. And sure enough, in Nathan's words, he ran out of talent, and the rest is history. But at the end of the day, he didn't win, and a Buddy Motorsports car did win. So sure could have worked out even worse than it did. So we're going to come out of here with 2 stage wins and a P3, and we're going to be decently happy about it, even though the fastest car didn't win the race.
Yeah, you were incredibly dominant all night long. I mean, don't get me wrong. Nathan was up there for several laps, and we were watching those lap times grow and grow, and then all of a sudden things started to go the other way. But unfortunately tonight it's just not gonna break your way. But you can't win them all, and of course you certainly didn't want to be the cause of anything catastrophic tonight in the race. So good for you for heads-up driving and smart driving for sure. Before we cut you loose, who do you need to thank and who helped you get it done tonight on the 78 team?
Well, I just want to shout out everybody who was on track tonight, because I think we only had, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 caused yellows aside from the stage breaks, and that was just so much fun to get green flag pit stops in at a track like this, which is not easy to drive. So great job by everyone who was racing out there tonight. It was so much fun. This track was, at least as the leader, it was a lot of fun. I know the guys behind me were complaining about dirty air, but I had a blast running, from the bottom up to 3 lanes up. It was a lot of fun. So wish I could have got the win, but happy to see my teammate Jacob get it done. And Jake Roel had a great run tonight as well. He was up there in the top 5 until I think he had a pit road speeding penalty. But overall, great run, and had a lot of fun tonight.
All right, brother. But listen, once again, congratulations on the P3 finish. We'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks, guys.
That the voice of Brian Smith. And Alan, we've gotten another one in the books here in the Icon Cup Series, and man, I'm glad I got to hang out with you tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get out of here, Dave, one more piece of housekeeping business we got to take care of, and that's to go over those final results. You heard from our top 3. Bentley Glazer will bring it home 4th. 5th will go to Kyle Purcell. Kyle Diaz will bring it home P6. Charles Van Schaik will bring it home 7th. Patrick Colby bring home 8th. 9th will go to Nathan Finnegan. Brock Hersey will round out your top 10. Jonathan Duncan will park at P11. 12th will go to Jake Roll. Charlie Widener will finish 13th. 14th to go to Brad Delph. 15th to go to Sean Purcell. Jacob Gladelich, happy birthday, Patrick. He will finish 16th. Braxton DeWeese will finish 17th. Charles Woods will bring it home 18th. Looking a little bit deeper in the field, Anthony Tizio will finish 19th. 20th will go to Mike Grinnell. Robert Bloom will finish 21st. Adam Ball, after leading so much of that, having a good run, he'll finish 22nd. John McNeil, 23rd. 24th to go to EVC, Anthony Drancali. While 25th to go to Paducah, Kentucky's own Kyle Gilbert. Cody Eldred will get 26th. Evan Petico will bring home 27th. 28th will go to Kyle Gunther. And Nathan Brzezowski will win the race to the beer stand, while Hanover Fist did not take the green flag. And that will round out your 30 starters here tonight with the race results. Dave, closing thoughts before we get out of here.
It was a heck of a race tonight, and I'll tell you what, as we turn the lights out here at Iowa Speedway, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and, of course, being a part of what turned out to be a great race. Just, as Brian had mentioned, 2 cautions for cause tonight, plus, of course, the stage caution. So a great job by all tonight here in the Icon Cup Series. And for myself, Dave Regal, and my broadcast partner extraordinaire, my brother from another mother, Mr. Alan Bergen, we want to thank you for tuning in and making us a part of your evening right here on YouTube.com. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.